Today I'm going to teach you a handful of exercises that you can do to recover your shoulders, whether it's just prevention to recover from a workout, or if you're having some literal symptoms. These are all pretty safe to help you out and to get you through that. Most importantly, when you're thinking about your shoulders, remember that it is a ball and socket joint. It is circular, so you have to do stretches in each angle, each dimension, in order to let the full recovery happen or take place. So a couple things that you'll need to try out these movements are a block. A block could be a heavy book if you don't have one, a yoga strap, but feel free to use a belt. And then I'm going to start with the foam roller. But a foam roller could be a heavy blanket or towel rolled up. So the first movement that I find important is just to mobilize the distance between your ribs and your collarbones, so to give that some breathing room, and also to consider that very front line of what your shoulder receives, so your pecs. So consider pecs and add movement of your arms. So in order to start that, you'll lay down. I generally say about 2 fists distance between you and your foam roller, or whatever you might use. Ideally, your head is on the foam roller, and when I'm in this position, my middle spine, thoracic spine, goes up into my body, and then it lets my shoulders drop down. So that's the purpose of the lift. You're basically in an anti-slouch position. So spine up, but shoulders dropped down. You can simply lay like this for a few minutes just to start out your stretch. And to get your best effect here, let your exhales be muscular. Let your ribs knit towards one another and then down towards your belly button. So as this sheet of fascia or connective tissue draws down, it gives that instant space for your pecs and your collarbones. So maybe you lay here. Maybe you reach your arms overhead, already getting into that long line of your torso and your tricep. And you let the exhales be muscular. You squeeze your ribs away from your arms. So something as simple as this can make subtle or not so subtle space in the front of your body and even the sides. Simple things you can move into from there. Some nice elbow bends, or a cactus-shaped arm is what I refer to it as. This feels fantastic just to move this way. But if you're bored when you're laying there, you can always floss your shoulders, quote unquote. Keeping in mind that perfectly circular action that your shoulders are capable of. So that's phase 1. So again, maybe you lay stationary or you move your arms around. Carefully pick yourself up. So continuing to consider your front line and your rib cage, that type of space. You can add a thoracic movement, so take hold of your shins or your thighs. When you inhale, push your chest forward. You attempt to detach your sternum, so make some literal space in that bone that receives your collarbones. Sink yourself back, exaggerate your slouch, and then you broaden across your rotator cuff when that happens. Middle trap gets affected too. Breathe in, come forward. Breathe out, sink back. Simple movement, feels pretty refreshing. Chin could come into it, and then you get new length through your neck muscles. Extend your chin up, long through both sides of the throat. Cave everything back. Find a few motions like that, and then add the shoulders more directly. Fingers interlace, push the hands away. You get some space in the palms of your hands. Go right into that same motion. Breathe in and lift up. This could be an extension. And then breathe out to slouch back. So you'll start to notice what directions are more or less flexible for you. That's very challenging for me to go backwards here. This is easy. But my shoulders get to circle within their joint. From here, What's next? You can take hold of your strap and just still adding on. This is a similar motion, but the strap I'll generally fold it in half and use it as a tension, almost as like a mock ligament. You grip onto it at shoulder distance. The inhale opens you up, and that's consistent for any stretch that you do. The exhale settles you. So you can start with directly moving your arms up and down. And then just like those previous two, maybe start to add the C curve of your spine. So whatever feels right, you just take what you need. A few of those. And then with the strap still in hand, you can come into what's called Apley's scratch. So hands behind the back, you hold onto the strap. And that's almost like you're trying to wash your back, so I'll take up some of the slack of the strap. And when I pull up, I stretch the front of my left shoulder, so this very front line. When I pull down, that's your tricep stretch. So it's just a two-part stretch. You could use it as a floss or almost that back washing motion. Or you could come to a point that feels right for you and just hold. And when I'm here, I try and lift the sides of my body up and out of my pelvis just to add on. So there's that, and you'll switch it around, floss it out, and then hold where you feel some kind of benefit. Okay, what else do I have? So from there, there's a deep stretch that you can do using your block. And I'm just going to grab a chair. This one you'll feel right away. You can use a chair, you could use a bench if you're at a gym or a stack of weights. But this is, you'll feel it as soon as you get into it. It'll involve your ribs, your tricep, that type of thing. Where those previous movements were more flexible bicep and chest, this gets right into your side and really gives you an opportunity for your shoulders to do what they need to do. The purpose of the block is to maintain a shoulder width distance so you're not externally or internally rotated, you're perfectly neutral. You let your elbows land, and then you wiggle your knees back. Your forehead could rest on the chair, whatever surface you have, or if you can manage it, your head drops, so there's a sense of gravity dropping your spine down, with the block keeping your arms in place, and you just let yourself drop from there. So that could be one of your last stretches. Oh, I forgot one. That's a nice one. That's one of your deeper ones, so leave it for the end. There's always eagle arms if you're familiar. Arms out wide, one elbow under. And then let your elbows decide what the middle is. You could stay here, or similar to that Apley's scratch, you could floss. So you could slide up and down. You'll feel a big gap between your shoulder blades and back, so you're mobilizing the blade themselves on your rib cage. There's that one, and then I would end it all with a twist. Twists are very neutral. You can take this one, or this one. And then anytime that you're getting home care from a friend, or from a trainer, or from a body worker like massage therapist, osteo, physio, always be curious. Ask questions, because it's nice to know the purpose of what you're doing, and it'll literally help you get better if you know why you're doing certain motions. You can certainly feel a lot of them, but if you know what they're doing, it's much more advantageous. Enjoy your shoulder stretches, ask me questions, and I'll do hips next time.